Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Rubik, and in this video I'll show you how to download the PSP and PS Vita launcher and how to use it properly. First of all, to download it, head over to Google Play and search for PocketDeck. Once you find it, feel free to take a look at the screenshots and then simply install it. Once it's installed, open the launcher. The first thing you'll notice is that I've recreated the original PSP startup sequence as faithfully as possible, including the authentic startup sound and animations. Let everything load, and once it's finished, you'll see the usual disclaimer screen that's become a trademark of my console-inspired launchers. Tap OK, and from there, you're ready to start exploring the PSP launcher. As you can see, the first thing I want to explain is how to navigate through the launcher. The PSP used Sony's iconic XMB interface, which was truly unique, and using it on an Android device is a pretty interesting experience. The launcher is compatible with Android phones and tablets, Android TV, the AYN Thor, and of course, it also supports gamepads. Navigation works exactly like it did on the original console. Now, let's start by looking at the extra application section. As you may remember, the PSP had a very distinctive way of displaying music, videos, and photos stored on the device. I've tried to recreate that experience as closely as possible in this launcher. For example, if I go to the music icon, you'll see two different icons. The first one, the disc icon, lets you choose which music app you want to launch. The same idea applies to the video and photo sections, where you can select your preferred app. The second icon represents a folder. The first time you open it, the launcher will ask you to select the folder where your music is stored. I've already configured mine, but you'll simply choose yours. Once you've done that, your music files will appear inside the launcher just like they did on the original PSP. If you accidentally choose the wrong folder, don't worry. Simply open the launcher's main settings just like I'm doing here and find the corresponding folder setting. In my case, it's music folder. Select a new folder and that's it. The exact same process works for the other extra applications as well. The interface for these sections is also heavily inspired by the PSP. Just browse through your files, select the one you want, and enjoy it. In this case, for the music section, I've tried to recreate the original PSP music player interface as closely as possible, and I think the result is pretty faithful. To exit any of these custom windows, simply press and hold your finger on the screen, just like I'm doing here. Now, let's move on to the games section. The launcher can register both your Android apps and your emulated games. Let's start with your Android apps. To do that, go to Game Gallery. From there, simply choose the app you want to assign. Once you've selected it, you won't need to do it again, as it will remain saved as the default disk. Now, I know that for those of you with lots of apps, having everything in one place can become a bit messy. That's why I've added support for folders. To create one, press and hold the Game Gallery icon until the Options button appears. Tap it, select Create Folder, enter a name, and press OK. Your folder has now been created. Open the folder, and since it's empty, the launcher will ask you to choose which apps you'd like to add. That's it. You now have your own custom folder. You can create as many folders as you like or delete them later through the same options menu. You can even display folders in different ways, but I'll leave that for you to explore on your own. Now, let's move on to the Emulation Games section. It's very simple. Open the Emulation Games icon. The first time you do this, the launcher will ask you to select the folder where your ROMs are stored. Choose the correct directory and all of your games will automatically appear inside the launcher. From then on, whenever you want to play, simply tap the game, just like I'm doing here, and it will launch without any additional setup. Of course, if you have a large game collection, you can also organize your ROMs into folders. And since the launcher isn't limited to PSP games, you can also organize games from other systems such as the Nintendo DS, DSi, Nintendo 3DS, PS Vita, and many more. Finally, let's take a look at the customization section. Open the customization icon, then select themes. Here you can choose between the classic built-in color themes or install original PSP themes that you can download from the internet. The color themes work instantly. Just select one and you're done. PSP themes are a little different. Although the launcher is designed to recognize them automatically, some themes may not display perfectly. I've tested quite a few of them, but I can't guarantee that every existing PSP theme will be fully compatible. In some cases, you may need to adjust a few settings manually. Simply open the launcher's advanced settings, where you can tweak things like icon spacing, lighting effects, and other visual options until the theme looks the way you want. I'll leave those settings for you to experiment with, but keep in mind that not every PSP theme was created the same way, so a few of them may require some fine-tuning. Perfect. Now that we've covered the PSP side of the launcher, let's take a look at the PS Vita experience. To switch over, simply tap this icon, which will take you to the PS Vita launcher. Just like with the PSP, I've tried to recreate the original startup experience as faithfully as possible. The first time you enter the PS Vita launcher, you'll see a short introduction explaining features such as the profile system and the launcher's settings. Once you've read through it, simply tap OK. From that point on, you're free to explore the launcher. However, there's one important thing you should know first. The PS Vita mode is a premium feature. Without purchasing the premium version, you'll still be able to look around, but you won't be able to interact with this part of the launcher. There are a few other premium features as well, but I wanted to make that clear before we continue. Now, as you can probably hear, the PS Vita launcher also uses sounds inspired by the original console. I've also spent a lot of time recreating its animations as accurately as possible. It took quite a bit of work, and I really hope PS Vita fans enjoy the result. Navigation is very straightforward. Simply swipe left and right to move between pages. The first time you launch it, you'll only have a single home screen. If you'd like to create additional pages, press and hold any bubble to enter edit mode. While in edit mode, you can do quite a lot. Delete bubbles, edit their settings, create new home screen pages, change the theme color, and much more. In my case, I'm going to create a new page. Once it's been created, if you'd like to add a new bubble, simply tap the dotted placeholder and choose the app you want to add. Still in edit mode, you can freely rearrange your bubbles by dragging them around. You can also create folders. To do that, tap the bubble you want to organize and choose Create Folder. Once the folder has been created, simply drag any other bubbles into it and they're automatically added. Another feature I'd like to show you is the PS Vita's famous live area. To open it, simply tap on any bubble. Each app will open its own live area screen. At the moment, the live area is fairly simple, but I plan to expand it in future updates by adding features such as game manuals and other console-inspired options. Even now, you can already customize the live area background for each app individually through that app's settings. You can also have multiple live areas open at the same time. To close one, simply swipe down from the top, just like you would on a real PS Vita. Now, let's move on to the PS Vita game section. Open this icon, and the first time you do so, the launcher will ask you to select the folder where your PS Vita games or any other compatible games you want to organize are stored. Select the correct folder and all of your games will automatically appear inside the launcher. Once your games have been registered, simply tap one to launch it, just like we did on the PSP side. I won't demonstrate that here because I don't currently have a PS Vita emulator installed on this device. Finally, there's one more thing I'd like to mention. Depending on your device, the PS Vita interface may not perform equally well. That's why I've included several performance profiles inside the launcher settings, which you can see here. Choose the profile that best matches your device. However, if the launcher still performs poorly even after selecting the low performance profile, it's most likely because your device simply isn't powerful enough to handle this part of the launcher. If it is compatible, it should run just as smoothly as it does on my phone and on many other users' devices. If you run into any problems, feel free to contact me by email or through my Discord server. I'll be happy to help. With that said, the launcher still hides plenty of secrets for you to discover on your own, so I'll leave the rest for you to explore. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.